What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to MTG Deep Dive. Today I'm here to talk about my second impressions of the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. I'm still in my hotel, as you can see, but at the time of this recording, Samsung Galaxy Unpacked has finished, and I finally got my review unit. Right here is the Galaxy S26 Ultra in Cobalt Violet, 256 gigs, 12 gigs of RAM. And I also did get the Galaxy Buds 4 Pro, so if you guys want to see something like that, a deep dive, let me know in the comments down below. And then I got a case with it, as well as like some accessories. So huge thanks to Samsung for sending out these review units, or giving them out, and also flying me out to Galaxy Unpacked, which this year took place in San Francisco. My first Unpacked was last year in New York City with the launch of the Galaxy Z Fold and Flip 7. So this is my second Samsung Galaxy Unpacked with my main channel, MTG Productions. This is kind of, I started this channel much later, but thank you all so much for subscribing. Stay tuned because, you know, there's lots of content coming. But with my second impressions of the Galaxy S26 Ultra, now that I have it in hand, I actually have it set up right here. You know, my SIM card is in here. I'm going to be using this phone. I've got some thoughts, and I like this phone. I really do. Now, this phone is a refinement. It's not a radical redesign or anything like that. The entirety of the S26 series is just refinements. And in fact, the Ultra gets the most upgrades, whereas the S26, I think, gets the second most, and then the S26 Plus kind of like stays the same as its predecessor. But with this Galaxy S25, or I'm so used to saying S25, but S26 Ultra, we still get the flat frame, which I do appreciate, but now we get even more rounded corners, and it fits even more seamlessly with the rest of the lineup. So when you look at the back and put them side by side with the S26 Plus and the 26, they look almost alike, essentially alike, and you can't really tell. In fact, during my early hands-on, I was getting confused, like, am I holding the S26 Ultra or the Plus when you take a look at it from the back? But just keep in mind, you have more cameras on the Ultra. Now, this flat frame I like how it's more rounded, and it is slightly thinner than its predecessor at slightly thinner at 7.9. It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long day. But yeah, 7.9 millimeters. And it also is a little bit lighter too. And you can tell the difference with the Galaxy S25 Ultra, as I have right here. And it also does ditch that titanium. It's now aluminum, but it's, I guess, the hardest aluminum that Samsung has ever used. But if you do like the S25 Ultra design, then you're going to like the S26. Now, I'm still happy that Samsung kept the S Pen, because we've been seeing rumors that Samsung was going to get rid of the S Pen. Nobody uses it, things like that. But there are people that use it. And I don't use it every single day, but I've been using it more and more. And I really like how the S Pen is still included, because it just, I don't know, it makes things really simple and easy to use sometimes. Especially like for me, for my main channel, I sign lots of documents and PDFs, you know, brand deals, sponsorships, things like that. So it's easier just to sign and send it this way rather than having like an automatic signature. There is one thing you do have to keep in mind with the S Pen, is you have to kind of insert it the correct way. I mean, it'll click in, but you'll see that it doesn't really sit, you know, seamlessly. So you have to kind of pop it back out and insert it the other way. Like, it'll sit when you click on it, it'll sit there, but it just won't like feel seamless across the board. And when you try, at least for me, because I record lots of B-roll for my main channel and sometimes for this channel too, it's not going to sit flush on kind of the table. So what I would do with my past Ultras is I would remove the S Pen if I needed to get any footage, and it looks like I'm going to be doing the same thing with that. Now, that being said, overall this design is more so the same. Like when you look at it from the outside, yes, new colors, you're getting a camera. island, just like the one found on the Z Fold 7. But other than that, it's essentially the same. You still get the same like USB-C port, speaker port, SIM tray right up there. And then you get the power and the volume on the right-hand side. Display, when you take a look at it, it's essentially the same size, 6.9 inch. In fact, it is the same brightness too, up to 2600 nits of peak brightness. So outdoors with the S25 Ultra was great. So outdoors, I'm sure with this, like I didn't really get to use it. I literally unboxed it, got it set up. I've been using it for a couple hours in my hotel room, but I think it's going to perform really great outdoors. So stay tuned for the long-term comprehensive deep dive, I guess you can say. Scrolling has been great. Again, since I set it up, I changed the animation scales, the transition scales to 0.5, and that's how I like it. It just feels so much better. Obviously, the biggest improvement here or feature is the new privacy display. I'll show you guys real quick how it works. So it's in the quick toggles, or you can go through settings, but privacy display, and you have this option where it says turn on privacy display. So you turn it on, and when you look at it directly right at the phone, like head on, you can still see it, but when you shift it towards an angle, and you can also see my fingerprints if you're watching this, but you can't really see the screen anymore. And I have maximum privacy protection on. And it's not just the horizontal axis, it's the vertical axis too. Can you see that? Not really. But as soon as you bring it up, there you go. Now, I'm going to turn off maximum, so you can still see, like it still works, the privacy protection still works, but it's not as crazy as it was before. Now I'm going to completely turn it off, and there you go. So shifting from left to right, you can definitely still see it. Now there's also conditions for turning on. So you can have it with notification pop-ups. So it's going to apply the privacy display to notification pop-ups from all apps while keeping the rest of the screen visible. So if you get messages or whatever, like banking apps, whatever the case may be, it's going to cover that small spot where you get those notifications. And then if you're entering a PIN, pattern, password in the settings, lock screen, or secure folder, it's going to cover that as well. And then you can choose apps where you want privacy display. And on my early hands-on with Samsung, they had mentioned that you can kind of cater this according to where you're located. So if you're going to, I don't know, if you're a student, you go to school, and you want to turn on that privacy display just while you're at school, it'll do that automatically. That's pretty cool. Or if you're in the public, like for me, to come here, I had to take a plane, right? And there was a layover, so I got on 2 different planes to get here. But there was a lot of apps where like, there's people around me. I'm not going to open up these apps because, well, those eyes next to me are probably going to look. So having a privacy display would definitely help clear things up quite a lot. Now I know there's privacy screen protectors, but the fact that it's built into this display, and Samsung had mentioned that they've been working on this technology for 5 years, and it is the world's first privacy display in a mobile device. So that is really good. Like that's actually really, really good in how they engineered it. So I'm excited for people to kind of try this because it really is useful. And I think the privacy screen protectors for the Galaxy S26 Ultra are going to go out the door because we have it built in. And other than that, like it's a Samsung panel, it's a 10-bit panel now too. So it's just really vivid, buttery smooth. I absolutely love Samsung panels. Essentially, like what you get on like a Samsung TV, you're pretty much getting here in your mobile, in your pocket. This is essentially what it is. So I'm really excited about this privacy display. And then AI features is like the second, I guess, big upgrades. But we're going to get to AI in a moment because there's obviously performance upgrades. Now, I had mentioned that I have 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage in my model, but you can go up to 1 terabyte, and that model has 16 gigs of RAM. So if you want 16 gigs of RAM, you got to go for the highest end model. But I think for me, I'm fine with having 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. It is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, but made for Galaxy. So it's built on a 3nm chip, and again, like, I don't really see a difference. I don't think you will either. I don't see a difference when compared to my S25 Ultra. Obviously, I'm going to do a detailed comparison. If you guys want to see a video on that too, let me know, like a deep dive of the comparison. Let me know down below. But I think regardless of if you get the 12 gig model or the 16 gig RAM model, their apps are going to launch real quick. Multitasking is going to be great on both. Yeah, Android 16, One UI 8.5 is on here too, so that's a huge plus. And Samsung, again, like, it's that Galaxy AI is what they're really leaning into. And there is a partnership, obviously, with Google, and they're exclusively releasing an update or new features to Gemini, where essentially, like, let's say I want to order something on DoorDash, or I'm in a group chat and everybody's asking for different types of pizza. I just bring it into Gemini. I'm like, all right, just analyze this conversation and order everything for me. It'll go into your app, it'll order for you, and then it'll have you confirm to see if everything's all set, and then you just place order. So it's at a point where it's starting to take care of these tasks for you. Before, you'd manually, in fact, like, even right now, like, if you don't use this feature, or phones that don't have this feature, which is pretty much every phone doesn't have this feature yet, you'd have to kind of manually do these things. Like, you'd have to, okay, go into DoorDash and find whatever, restaurant you're going to order from, and then go back and forth. Gemini takes care of it. And that's just with Gemini. There's a lot of Galaxy AI features. There's the whole audio eraser, which is being integrated into third-party apps like YouTube and Instagram and Netflix. I'm excited to try those out. There's a Creative Studio app, which is like, I'm not that excited. Like, I'm definitely going to try it out, but I'm not too excited. There is the new, with Object Eraser, there's the Photo Assist. It's multimodal. So for me, I use Object Eraser quite a bit. And I'm excited to try that out too and really use it on my daily work. And the fact that we have these features, and the fact that, like, Samsung isn't throwing it in your face, it's saying, hey, look, we have these features that can make your life easier. I like that. I like how they're not really throwing it into your face. And even though during the Unpacked event, that's pretty much what they talked about most of the time, it's not like when you pick up the phone, it's like, hey, I'm AI, use me. I'm AI, use me. No, it's like, it's there when you need it. When you don't need it, it's not there. And Samsung is touting, like, an agentic phone. This is going to be like an agent for you, just like a companion, a AI companion to help you get things done, to help make your life more easier, and for me, more productive. Like, I use Gemini. I use Galaxy AI to make things a little bit easier on my end. I'm excited to try it out. So stay tuned for, like, the comprehensive deep dive. Now the cameras are promising because of the new updates that it does get, especially with the main 200 megapixel sensor. It is now f1.4 aperture, so that's going to let in more light. I believe it's like 47% brighter, and it's going to obviously work better with low light photos as well. There is improvements to video too. There's 8K at 30 frames per second, obviously, but then there's, like, the pro video modes too, which I am excited to try out as well. So we'll see how well the cameras do perform, but Samsung really did tout this as like a pro camera without carrying that right there, like a Sony A7 Mark III, which is, this is actually, I've had this for about 4 years now, so I think it's due for a new camera fairly soon. It's been great with this, but I think sooner or later I'm gonna have to upgrade. It's been great though. Anyway, if you guys have suggestions, let me know down below. I kind of want to pick up, I don't know, maybe something similar to this, but also something a little bit, have two different ones, like something I can take on the go that has really great results like this, but there's something more for, like, stay at home results, because, like, I don't like lugging this around, even though it's not that heavy. Regardless, I'm going to try out the cameras on photos and videos on the Galaxy S26 Ultra, so stay tuned for that. The selfie camera definitely did get an improvement. I don't really take selfies that often, but the fact that it got improvement, like, I can see it when I take a selfie. It just feels more enhanced and more real. It's not like grainy, which I do appreciate. Now there is like oh my God, I can't even say Perplexity AI built into Bixby. So if you want to use it, go right ahead. I mean, there's Gemini, there's Bixby, Perplexity built in here. So it's like, you got a bunch of AI options, AI tools. You use whichever one is going to help you. I'm going to be sticking to Galaxy AI as well as Google Gemini for this. And then I do, still use ChatGPT for the YouTube business for asking questions, things like that. I do like to use, and Grok as well, because I like to kind of get an understanding of like answers that ChatGPT gives and then another AI tool gives. So kind of compare the two and see which one I would prefer the most. The one thing I really want to try out is the battery life. How is this battery going to last? Because we've been getting the same battery capacity since the Galaxy S20 Ultra, 5,000 milliamp hours. Samsung didn't increase the capacity this year. They increased the charging speeds to 60 watts, previously rumored to be 65, but it's not 60. That's fine. It's still fast, faster than its competitors like Apple and Pixel. But the fact that it's 5,000, it's like we're getting phones with 7,000, 7,300, 7,500, 8,000, 10,000, and then Samsung's like, yeah, you know what? I want to keep my phone slim and keep it 5,000 milliamp hours. Well, if the efficiency gains with the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 and the optimization with One UI 8.5 gives you great battery life, sweet. But imagine with those efficiency gains and the optimization of the software, we have a physically larger battery for a slightly thicker chassis. I'm completely okay with that. And I think a lot of people would be too. You'd get not one full day, but 2 full days, maybe 3 full days of battery life, because the battery life on the S25 Ultra was great. And I'm sure it's going to be great here on the Galaxy S26 Ultra if you want to compare it to its predecessor, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to have to use it a little bit longer. Obviously, I just set this up, it's been a couple hours, so we'll see how well the battery does last, but I'm glad that we get faster charging. 60 watts, Samsung claims 0 to 75 in 30 minutes. And that's, a lot of people end up charging the phones in the morning while they're getting ready. I'm usually one of them, especially with my Android devices. I would put this on a MagSafe charger, but it doesn't have magnets. You need a case for it, which Samsung does have cases with magnets, but it's like, why not? And Samsung has stated that they want to keep their profile slim. They want to keep their devices slim, and they had mentioned that 98% of users tend to put on a case anyway. Well, first of all, what about the 2% that don't? For me, yes, I use a case. Don't get me wrong, I use a case, but a lot of my MagSafe accessories are when I'm at home. When I'm in the car, it's fine, whatever, I'll have a case regardless. But when I'm at home, in my bedroom, in my studio, in my living room, I have MagSafe chargers, and I usually take off the case off of my phone. I'm just kind of weird like that when I'm at home. You're probably thinking, well, isn't it still hazardous? You still have the probability of you dropping your phone is maybe the same as if you were outside. Yes, but if I'm in my studio, unless I drop it on my table, if it falls on the floor, it's carpet. It's not really going to, I would assume it wouldn't damage or crack the screen or anything like that. But I don't know, that. I'm just weird like that. When I'm at home, I take it off. I just want to enjoy the phone itself. I don't know if I'm the only one like that, but regardless, I would have liked to have seen magnets. Maybe next year, Samsung. Maybe next year, or maybe starting with the Fold 8. We got some time until the Fold 8, Samsung, so you can bring it to the Fold 8. Then we do have those other things, the connectivity, 5G, which I'm so happy that 5G is not a talking point anymore, because it used to be Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G, 2,575 billion. Why was it a part of the name? Galaxy S20 or S10 5G plus Max Pro Max, just take it out of the name. It doesn't need to belong in the name, but it was at a certain point in time. It does have IP68 water and dust resistance, Wi-Fi 7 support, Bluetooth 6.0. So it's got the flagship specs you would expect here in the US, but doesn't have like a larger battery capacity, silicon carbon battery for that matter, doesn't have the magnets, isn't really pushing ultra specs. I don't think with this device Samsung is trying to be an ultra spec phone. It already has really good specs, like almost ultra, but compared to its competitors outside of the US, it's not really ultra, in my opinion. But that's just me. I'm gonna have to use this phone more and see how it is, but this phone, it's not a radical phone. And this is the safest that Samsung has played with their S devices this year. Like, this is the safest they've been. They're like, okay, no huge changes, just some very minimal upgrades. With Galaxy S20 Ultra getting the most upgrades of the three. Samsung's not really trying to shock you. They're refining what has been working for years. Again, like display improvements, internal improvements, software improvements, camera improvements. Yeah, we're getting those. Slight battery department improvements, not all the way, but hopefully next year, because I really love the Ultra Lano. Hopefully next year Samsung goes all in with the Ultra, with the S27 Ultra, make it a beast of a phone. Throw in a silicon carbon battery, like a 7,000 milliamp hour battery, 80 watts of wired charging. Keep upgrading the cameras. I don't know, whatever it is, like just throw all the best status. 16 gigs of RAM standard, 512 gigs of storage as your base, 2 terabytes of storage as your max. Like, really make this a true power spec workload machine for those heavy gamers, for those people who use this for Samsung decks, whatever the case may be. But I hope that happens with the S27 Ultra. I know I'm getting a little too ahead of myself because this phone literally just was unveiled, but I'd like to see it nonetheless. Only one can dream, right? I always talk about an iPhone mini. It's not happening, but one can dream. One can dream of a super Ultra Pro Max from Samsung, or maybe a Galaxy S26 Ultra Mini. That would be cool. Just saying. And don't say in the comments, like, we have the Galaxy S26. That is the mini. That's the compact. No. That's not a Galaxy S26 Ultra Mini. Remember, we had the Galaxy Note 10 and the Note 10 Plus. That Note 10 was like the mini version of it, and I really liked it. At that time when the Note 10 came out, I'm trying to remember. I started working at Best Buy in the mobile department back then. I guess nowadays, like, there's no department-specific jobs, but back then, I was in the mobile department, and I got hired a month before the Galaxy Note 10 launched. And when it did, I was like, I don't even care about the Note 10 Plus. I just love the Note 10. It was a compact phone, still had the S Pen. It was great. Didn't really have too many compromises, but I just loved it. I hope Samsung does bring that back. And also keep the S Pen, please. Keep the S Pen, and next year maybe add Bluetooth capability for those, because there are some people that want to upgrade, but they use the Bluetooth S Pen capabilities. So please bring that back. Anyway, kind of just to, wrap things up. My second impressions are this device is promising, but it's not meant for everybody. And this phone is certainly not meant for people who upgrade or want to upgrade every single year. If you have the S25 Ultra, just wait. Maybe even the S24, and I would even argue the S23 Ultra, it's not worth the upgrade. Unless you get pretty good deals with like trade-ins, then yeah, I would. But for example, if you trade in the Galaxy S25 Ultra from Samsung, I think you get like up to $900 off. So you get this S26 Ultra for like $400, then if you can justify that, yeah. But it's not a revolutionary phone. It's polished. It's a polished phone, and it feels more like a smarter phone, more than a powerful, just raw spec'd out phone. Maybe one day Samsung will make a raw spec'd out, but also kind of a smartphone. Get it? Smartphone, right? No, it is smart. Old phones they do smart things. They do things that we couldn't do like 15, 20 years ago, but an agent, a companion phone, but also like raw spec'd out. I don't know. Regardless, I'm excited to try it out. tested with like games like Clash of Clans, Call of Duty. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm working on my way towards 1,000 subscribers here, so definitely it goes a long way in helping out the channel. I did drop this latest wallpaper pack right here, Aura Layers, if you want to check it out down below. Also goes a long way. Links of like Samsung devices are in the description down below. Those are affiliate links. They also go a long way in helping out the channel. Pretty much any link that I leave for products tend to be affiliate links, whether it's here on my main channel. So those do go a long way in helping out the channel and the business. But I hope you guys did enjoy. And that's been it with me and the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Second impressions, deep dive. Catch you all in the next video.